Hello everyone! Today, if you like, we will make together these earrings that he decided to call modular Sunbeams, because as you can see, they are composed of the Sunbeams earrings that we have already made here on the channel, which are represented by this larger drop made with 8mm bicones, 6 and 4, and this smaller drop that I will explain today. Of course, these modules can be used separately, but they can be combined because modular means combinable to form these larger earrings that are earrings. At the same time, this combination is reversible because at any time you can remove the ring that joins them and put the stud then on the module below, or even use instead the small earrings alone if you do not like the earrings too big. I will write you the number of bitcoins needed for this module, then of course to create the larger ones. So these here of medium size, there will be the tutorial already on the channel. I will put the link, and then if you want, I will also put the total number of bitcoins needed to make this combination, these modular Sunbeams. I hope I have explained myself well, to have been clear, and I leave you now to the rest of the video and especially the list of materials in a moment. To make these earrings, you will need 2 rings only, in case you connect to the larger module to the original Sunbeams. Otherwise, you will need only 2 monocles, then 8 bicones of 6mm. These are the color Capri Blue AB Matte. Then 18 bicones of 4mm. These are the color Dear Ben Cabi V4. E40B 3mm cone, and these are in the color Violet AB. Then you will need very few Rokai 11-0. These are in the color Duracot Galvanized Siphon, and very few Rokai 15-0. And these are in the color Duracot Galvanized Eggplant. Then you will need the nylon thread monofilament from 0-20mm that I always recommend. And then the pony needle number 11, of course the one for pony bidding beads. First of all, we put on the lake the sequence that you see. So look, in all there are 10 bicones of 3 metern, but they must be interspersed with 7 rokai. As you can see here in the video, we will put the 4 bicones all together, not interspersed in the center, because then this will represent the upper part, let's say the tip of our drop, but we're talking about the inside of our drop. We bring everything almost to the end of the thread, we wrap on our fingers and pass again in the beads. We tighten, the heads of the thread are joined, we make 2 knots, and 2, of course, we tighten well. And the second node has to go on top of what we've already done. So since they are very thin beads, we insert an openable lake in the short field, and we are going to insert in any direction, for example in Rokai Komunke 11-0, which is next door, and we just cross some generically defined beads to get away from the knot. I think that's enough. We cut the thread, which is that of the short head, of course. Then with our thread, given that with the other end we went to the lokai here compared to the nude, we go to the bicone, and then we will go to position ourselves at a specific point that I'll show you in a moment from this point. Going up from the bottom, we are coming out of this bicone, which is the third, not interspersed by rocks, but we turn the work to have a precise and very important idea. This passage we must find ourselves. You see here, this is half our drop, and the thread is coming out. You see? It goes down. So keeping our work like this with the rocks underneath, it goes down, because we have to then continue in this direction clockwise. And in fact, now we put 3 bicone, and we go and insert here into the bicone from which the wire comes out, and then we also enter the next one. So these are 3mm bicone. We pull the string and we'll end up like this. Now instead we take a 3mm bicone and a 4mm bicone, and we go and insert them here, and then simultaneously in this bicone, which is part of the initial work of the initial insertion. Then we also cross the Rokai 15-0 and the next bicono to be ready to continue the work. Pulling the thread, we will find ourselves, so now we put on the needle 2 bicone 4mm. Here they are. We are going to insert in the 4mm bicone that is part of the previous circle, and then also in the bicone that we have below, then in the local 15-0, and in the bicone that we still have later. Pulling the thread, we will find ourselves, so from this point we add a 4mm bicone and a 6mm bicone, and we go to insert in the bicone that is part of the previous circle, this 4mm. Then we go to the 3mm bicone that we have under that, and it's about initial insertion. And then we enter the go-kart 15-0 and the next bicone to be ready to perform the next step. In the meantime, we pull the thread well, and we will find ourselves. So now we repeat. So we take again a 4mm bicone and a 6 bicone. So we go to insert again into the bicone that we already have at work, this 4mm. And then in the 3 below, in the Rokai 15-0, and in the bicone that comes even after. So we pull the wire, so we'll meet again, we close a little better, and then we withdraw the last step that we repeat, 4 bicone, 6 bicone. And we fit into the, they say that we have finished the job with the 3-way bicone that we have below in Rokai 15-0. We have only left Rokai for now, but I remind you that we must also leave the next bicone to continue the work. Let's pull the wire. Let's do this step one more time, bicone 4, bicone 6. And we're going to insert it into the bicone that we already have at work, this 4mm. We pull the wire, in this case I divide the steps, and then we go into the bicone we have under 3mm. In the Rokai 15-0 that we have below is in the bicone that comes after we pull the wire. And we will find ourselves like this here too. Let's fix it, right? We'll have this situation. Now to move forward, we have to put a 3mm bicone on the leg, a 4mm bicone like this, and we go to insert it into the 4 bicone that we already have at work. And then if we succeed in one go, we do it later. But in this case, already through the bicono that comes after we have here at work, this one from 3, the Roka from 15-0, and the next 3 bicono. We pull the string and we'll end up like this. And now we should add a 3mm bicone and a 4mm bicone. We're going to insert it in the 3mm bicone that we already have at work, then in the bicone that is right from the initial insertion, and then here the 15-0 room is not there, and we go directly through the next beacon. So we pull the thread, we pull the previous step while 2, we pull the thread, and we will find ourselves like this now. From this point we need to insert 2 3-minute bicones. Here we are going to insert them into the bicone that we already have at work, in this case in the bicone below, but only in this we pull the wire and we will find ourselves. So we pull well, we position the bicone well, and we will have this situation. As you can see, it's a drop. I try to tell you, seeing well is a drop that lacks the tip, and we now to do it. In the meantime, let's review this step just made and then continue together. As I said, let's go back here in this step that we have just made, because before continuing, we must stop the work well. There you go. Let's go here, then let's go to the basic bicone, the one of initial insertion. We will meet again, so we almost did, and we go again to this bicone, which is the one that is located most in the center of our structure. We're coming out, you see, of this bicone with the wire going to the left. There you go. Now from this point we take 2 3mm bicones, and here they are. And now the situation will be clearer, because we are just coming out of the left bicone, but we are going into the bicone that is in the symmetrical position on the right, which is this one here, you see? And then we cross it, and our teardrop tip will have formed. You can see a little. Now I will show you better, because we are going through this step again. So we will find ourselves coming out of this point. We are always in the left beacon and always in the central part of the drop. So in fact, if you pay attention, we have 2 beacon of those without the rocaille on one side, 2 beacon without the rocaille on the other, and then the other beacon interspersed. We will find ourselves like this. This is just the tip of the drop, and now we start to insert the rocks. First of all, at the tip of the drop, we insert a rocaille 15-0, and then we insert a V as it is on the right, like this, and we will have the needle at the top. Then we take another rocaille 15-0, we insert a next V comb. We close the thread, so we will then find another rocaille 15-0 that we go to insert into the next bicone, which in this case is the 4, then a rocaille 11-0, and we insert into the next bicone, which is always 4, then a rocaille 11-0. And we enter the next bicone, which in this case is the 6mm one. We close the wire and we'll end up like this. Now we have to insert 2 rocaille 11-0, and we are going to insert it into the next bicone from 6, in fact. Then we take 2 rocaille 11-0 and insert ourselves into the next bicone. Then 2 more rocaille 11-0 we insert into the next bicone. Now of course we have to proceed symmetrically, so 1 rocaille 11-0 and we go into the next bicone. one rokai 11-0, and we go into the next bicone. A rokai 15-0, and we go to the next alley, which is now the 3 mm one. We close the wire, a rokai 15-0, and go to the next alley. Let's pull the strings. At this point, I also cross the rokai di punta, and we can make the capietto. Putting 6 rokai 15-0, and here they are, and we go to insert in the rokai 15-0 from which we are starting, but on the other side, to create the cleat, we pull the wire well. The cleat will form, so let's review this step. We also go back to the rokai from which we started. We close the thread, so we will have gone back to the capietto, and now we must instead cross all these beads as we find them, starting from the bicone that comes immediately after the rokai di punta, which is this one here, and then we also cross the rokai, the bicono that follow, as much as possible through the hole. To speed up, do you see the carpet on the system? We continue a little further, so we have to go into the rocks and biconi that are along the edge. Once we have reviewed this part, we continue again from this part here at a certain point, maybe after the bicone. First big, we make 2 knots, but let's see to do it together, and in the meantime I continue the review. As I announced, I completed the round, and then I went even further until I got out of this first 6 mm bicone. Let's go underneath. The work forms a buttonhole that I didn't show you well. We go through it and pull the string, taking care that the knot goes just right after the bicone, immediately under the bicone, so we do again. Alternatively, we could tie the knot between the 2 rocks, 11-0. Anyway, we made the 2 knots here. Let's continue working for a while, and then we can cut the thread. The earring is finished. See you here in a moment with the earrings just complete. And as for the complete earrings, then these will be the mini sunbeams. Simple? No, let's simple that independently we can use in case we like small earrings. Instead, now we put practically under the sunbeams, the original ones, those that are, let's say, of a medium size, and that I instead decided to make modular, therefore combinable with these just made, as I show you precisely. Indeed, I showed you too quickly in the cap of the sunbeams, the medium size ones, the normal ones. Let's go put on the little ring that will hook here. At this part below you can see mini sunbeams. Then in correspondence of the 2 central rocks between the pairs of bicone. No, the big ones. At this point here that you see, and on the other hand, the central part, the lowest part, in short, of the mini sunbeams. Let's go close the little ring and it'll just be ready. This earring that instead becomes so great occasions. Of course, this can also be used individually, and these in pairs can be used for a more important occasion, for a party. That's why they're a little longer and so bright. I'll finish the other one as well and see you here in a bit. And here are the finished Sunbeams modular earrings. Here they are. I can't show you very well because they are long. And then being empty, as I say at this point, putting the hand behind them do not make the effect they should make. But of course then you have seen them worn, and you will see them then photographed a little bit here, also here on the channel, or even on the Instagram page and on Facebook. There you go. These earrings, I repeat, do not make much now, but they are quite elegant and can be used for a special occasion. For the colors, you can range and organize as you prefer. I wanted to use this correspondence between the large module and the small module with the same colors that alternate, but we can make different combinations. In fact, I can't wait to see yours. If you make them, please tag me on Facebook or Instagram as you like. I send you a hug and I give you the appointment here on the channel with the next idea.